And Phoebe is a lot like her Aunt Tina, and she loves pop culture. So her favorite singer is Ariana Grande, and her favorite show right now is Hamilton. When Phoebe's birthday rolls around, which is at the end of December, my sister had kind of forewarned her that she wasn't going to get a lot of toys this year. She was going to get bigger, more adult gifts. And so my sister bought her tickets to see Ariana Grande, and she made a puzzle out of them and wrapped each piece of the puzzle in a box and had Phoebe assemble the puzzle. And all Phoebe saw at first was tickets and then seat number. And it wasn't until the last piece that she saw it was Ariana Grande. And she went, oh, this is great. And we were all like, why are you so disappointed? It's Ariana Grande. She's like, well, I thought they were tickets to Hamilton. She had everything she thought she wanted, but she was still not satisfied. For those of you who know the musical Hamilton, you'll know that there is a song called Satisfied, and if you don't know this song, check our Facebook page later. I'm going to post it on there. And it's a song about Angelica Schuyler, the sister of Eliza Schuyler, who marries Hamilton, and she sets up her sister on this date with Alexander Hamilton. They get married, and then Angelica is upset because she's no longer satisfied. She thinks she has everything she wants, and yet she is not satisfied. Philip says to Jesus today, just show us one more thing, and we will finally be satisfied that the Father is in you. Now, at this point in the story, this conversation that we read in today's gospel happens at the Last Supper. So it's right before Jesus' crucifixion. And at this point, Jesus has been praying with the disciples all evening. He's washed their feet. He's tended to them. He's done all of these miraculous gifts of healing and tending to and doing wonderful things for his disciples, and yet they are still not satisfied. In our story from Genesis, everyone is living together in one place. All of God's people are united together. They are living in peace and harmony in the land God has promised them, and yet they are still not satisfied. They want to get high enough to enter the heavens. How has God tended to your life, and in what ways are you still not satisfied? As we think about Philip was called to be an apostle. He traveled across the country with Jesus. He was there when Jesus fed the masses on the mountain. He was there when Jesus stilled the storm. He was there when Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead. He was there when Jesus showed over and over again that God will tend to the needs of God's people. And yet Philip says, I'm still not satisfied. Phoebe thought she was getting everything she wanted when she got those Ariana Grande tickets, but then as soon as she got what she wanted, she could think of one more thing that would make her feel satisfied. What we see here again in Acts is a story of people who are not yet satisfied. Jesus was raised from the dead. They go to the empty tomb. The angels tell them he is risen, and yet they're not satisfied. So they go into the upper room. Jesus appears to them with Thomas. The Holy Spirit is breathed upon them, and they are still not satisfied. After Jesus ascends up into the heavens, after the Holy Spirit has been given to them, they are still not satisfied. So they go back to the upper room where they had the Last Supper until the Holy Spirit thrusts them out into the city to spread the good news. And if you continue reading in Acts, you'll find out that the apostles are still not satisfied. The problem with being satisfied is that it's an unattainable goal. We keep thinking as people, if we have just this one more thing, if my bank account gets this high, if I pay off this school loan, if I refinance my house this way, if I get this positive test result, result, if I marry this right person, if I move to this right city, then suddenly everything's going to be perfect. I'll finally be satisfied. But yet none of us are satisfied. There's always one more thing. Our challenge as people of faith is not to look forward to what God will do next, but to look back and give thanks for what God has already done. We are not good at being present with what God is doing for us right now. We're always thinking about what could happen next. But you are here today. You are well enough today to gather with your family and your friends. You will receive the sacrament. Jesus will enter you just as the Holy Spirit entered those in the house. God is tending to you today, but you can't see it because you're looking for that one other thing that will leave you satisfied. The gift of Pentecost is this reminder that no matter how much God has given to us, the Holy Spirit is going to come to us again and again and again and equip us with the things we need to handle what's next. But our challenge as people of faith are to sit in the presence of what God is doing right now in this space. How is God taking care of you today? Has God given you a place to live? Has God given you a network of friends to support you when you're upset? Even if your body is broken in some ways, how is your body healed in others? What has God done for you to show you that the Father is in you as he is in Jesus, as he is in the disciples? What does God show you about your love, how you are loved and claimed as a beloved child of God? This is hard work because we always want to think about what's next, the next big thing. I know as soon as I finish a sermon on Sunday, I go home and I start working on the next sermon for next week. I am never satisfied with one worship service. I'm always thinking about the next one. I'm always thinking about the next project. The Holy Spirit's going to guide you through that. The Holy Spirit will come to you and bless you and give you all of the things you need, just as God has always cared for you. But your challenge today, and every day, is to think of how God meets you beyond satisfaction. I've started this new practice of putting an alarm on my phone 4 times a day to go off. It's just a little pop-up, and it says, "Notice God's presence." And it comes up at the same time every day. And at first I thought, oh, this is going to get a little boring. But I'm always somewhere different when the alarm goes off. It goes off at 11, and at 3, and at 7, and at 10. So sometimes at 11 o'clock, I'm just leaving worship, and I'm noticing God's presence because I'm here. Sometimes the alarm goes off, and I'm at the doctor's office. Sometimes the alarm goes off, and I'm pumping gas at the gas station. I'm always thinking about what could happen next, but I have to discipline myself to be satisfied in what God is doing in this moment. Phoebe was really excited when she went to Ariana Grande. That night that she was with her mom at that concert, it was the best night of her life. She couldn't think about Hamilton. She just was present. How can you become more present with what God is doing for you right now? Philip says to Jesus, just show us that you're in the Father and we will be satisfied. And Jesus says, what more do I need to do to show you that we are all one? Stop a moment. Take note. Be satisfied. Amen. We have a practice on